and welcome back. My name is Brittany Noltimier and I am a performance coach for competitive dancers. And today we are talking about the competitive edge, what judges are really looking for. This is such a funny topic to me because it is so second nature. I judge so many competitions every weekend, out at all these dance competitions, and then as all the conversations I'm having with different teachers, judges, backstage staff, and students, the disconnect from what the judges are looking for and what we think they're looking for is so not there. So I'm here to help you bridge that gap and understand what they're really looking for. This is just my opinion, but I've been doing this for over 10 years and have a lot of friends in the business, but also students and studios who I teach elsewhere. So it's just my opinion, but it doesn't vary that much when talking to different judges and different people running the competitions. Okay, the very first thing that the judges are looking for is a clean routine. This sounds silly because, of course, we're always trying to make our routines clean. Yes, sure. But that is the difference between getting a regular critique and then getting an exceptional critique. If your dance is not clean, and now this is not as much for solos, because solos we can do more individual work and it has to do a lot more with our personal technique and our timing and stuff. But if you are doing a duo, trio, a large group, and it is not clean, it is extremely hard to judge or talk about anything but that because it is confusing to watch. So if you are on stage and you're not together, the judge has to say, make sure you're together on this part. Was that on count 7 or count 8? Which way should we be looking, dancers? Should we be looking straight at the audience or should we be looking to stage left? It's really, really hard to move on from that because it is like a stepping stone of your education. If you can't do this much, then you're not going to be able to do this step and this step. So that's why I encourage you to start working on cleaning your dancing, your choreography in class. The routines I see that are like impeccable precision. Let's just say Minneapolis, because I just watched the dance team competition the other day. Minneapolis, just the city itself, is really known for excellent dance team work. So their precision is on. A lot of different dance studios have incredible precision. Precision is a must. It's very easy to, when the whole group is dancing all together, then be able to talk about, okay, this moment right here, it needs extra flair. It needs personality. It needs to be able to throw the focus in this direction so that the audience understands that that's where you want us to look next. So when I see routines that precise, I know that they are working on that in regular class. When they go across the floor, they're not just going step, botma, step, kick at their own pace to get their legs as high as they can. That's not the focus. They are probably really honing in on their musicality, timing, and dancing. Let's say we're going 3 at a time all together. Because when we hone that in our exercises, it spreads very easily to the stuff that goes on the stage. So if you are in class and you're working, let's say, selfishly, if you're working selfishly, then I can promise your group dances are not going to be as clean as if you start worrying and paying attention to those around you and making sure that musicality is key and that team effort is key as well, rather than worrying about how high my leg is, how many turns can I do, but to put it all together. Because if you worry about those turns, but also I'm going to turn at the same time as my friend next to me going across the floor and we're going to travel the same amount of distance, we're really going to start to feel each other, then your teamwork is going to go from here to here. So then when it comes to cleaning routines, you don't have to spend hours and hours and hours cleaning one routine because the dancers already know how each other feels. We are taking ourselves out of that selfish. I hate saying that, but it's true. Because I was there. I was a very selfish dancer. I only know this as I'm out of out of high school, out of college. I wish that someone would have sat down with me in this area to say, look, you need to match these dancers next to you, and then you guys will grow together. Yeah, so the judges, they can still be entertained, of course, if your routine's not clean. And yay, it's fun and exciting and that was cute. But the critiques you get from them are not going to be as valuable as if you clean your routine. So if your routine is clean, then they can give you that next level of critiquing. Until then, they have to give feedback, like point your toes, make sure you're dancing at the same time, pay attention to the dancers next to you, because that is basic. That is the base of dancing together as a team. And I truly believe thou shalt not confuse thy audience. Thou shalt not confuse thy audience. And if you're going all like this, it's popcorn and you're not together, then it's confusing. The focus is not thrown to where it needs to be thrown. The timing is confusing. It's all confusing. It makes the judge ask you questions. Was that supposed to be on 7 or 8? Are we supposed to be looking down or up? When are we supposed to hit to the side or on a high V? I feel like your brain is starting to twirl now and you're going, oh yeah, they do say that a lot. That's when we're not together. That's when we need to fix our precision. Don't start in January. Don't start being like, oh, now we need to start dancing together. No, precision starts on day one. Precision starts as teamwork. Precision starts by opening your mind and allowing yourself to be a part of your team. It's not asking them to be your team. You need to start matching them. It's the same thing as organizing your house. Okay, so I love organizing. I love putting things together and organizing the house. But like professionals always say, you can't go through and throw out your mom's stuff because you don't like where her stuff is. And she's not going to come in your room and start throwing your things out. You'd be really upset. But she'll throw her things out, and then it motivates us to do the same thing because we are inspired by seeing a tidy space, by seeing a clean room. And so it's the same thing when you're working with a team. We're naturally selfish. As human beings, we are naturally selfish. But if you can take a step back and say, I'm going to be dancing today with my team, I am going to allow myself, maybe I always kick here and everybody else is kicking here. Today, to match that line, I'm going to go here because that is what the routine calls for. Look at the Rockettes. Have you ever seen the Rockettes? Many of them can kick their face. Their kicks are eye height because that is the precision. That is so the entire line is doing the same thing and we aren't just showing off in our best way. So first of all, we have to have clean routines to be able to get that next level of critique. So that's what the judges are really looking for. If you have a clean routine in January and February, could you imagine how much more impressive that would be? It can be kind of frustrating almost to judge in January and February because we're very aware that some of us just finished choreographing these routines. Some of us haven't even practiced this in a costume yet. And that's where all the costume things happen and where we're like, oh, we're still learning this together. But if you are working in class, your recitals are going to be better. It's not only about competition. Your recitals will be stronger because everything else is going to be more important. What you do with your team will have more impact and you will be stronger and probably more connected as a team. All right, so step 1, the judges want to see clean routines. Step 2, entertainment value. Okay, I know we know this. Yay, we dance for fun. We need to tell a story with our facial expressions. But the honest truth is if you can make a judge feel something real, not just like sad to be sad because the song is sad, but if you are a genuine human being on stage and you get us involved, then we can't forget you. No, that's when we can forgive a flexed foot here and there, because the genuine performer emulates to your audience, it emulates to your judges, and it makes us feel, feel emotions, feel proud of you, feel like we are a part of the song, that we are a part of the story. And that's really what we all want, isn't it? Why else are movies so popular? Okay, we watch movies and TV shows because we get captured into the story. So if we're doing a dance and it's just basically our jazz combinations we do across the floor with a smiley face like this, pas de rave, step, kick, and hit, yay. That's great. That's wonderful. You're pushing through your technique, but that's what you're showing then. You're showing what you're working on in class. You're not showing you as a genuine human being, as like the way that your dance teacher knows you. You're not showing that to your audience because you're a cool person. You're really cool. And what you have to present through your music, it makes us love you. Yeah, you being able to be you rather than I'm here doing my dance, then we form a connection with you. The same way you form a connection with your favorite movie stars, your favorite YouTube stars. Even you watch a YouTube short, you watch a reel, those still have stories. It might be a really short story, but it still has a beginning, middle, end. Something to grab onto your attention so that you want to wait until the ending to see what happens. So then that, of course, goes into training our facial expressions. A lot of that has to do with our confidence. Yeah. You might have somebody in your studio who just naturally is good at performing. You're like, oh, well, they're just the good performer and I'm not. I'm the good turner. Great. But that can be trained. You can be trained to have better facial expressions. And in the process, you can have exact steps of what you need to do the same way you've trained for your pirouettes. Know that you're not a lost cause. If you're terrified of facial expressions and you're one of these, you can fix that. You can fix that really, really quickly, actually. And I encourage you to. If you want help on that, that's what I do. There's a link in the description where that is my favorite thing to work on. I love to help students go from regular dance routine to something really special. Something where, wow, maybe your technique is not even close to the person who's going to get first, but it shoots you up in the lineup because the judges go back on their breaks and they go, that one routine, it was so good. It was so genuine when they did these little flick kicks because look, we're professionals. Everybody judging you is a professional dancer, most likely, or professional educator or teacher. So we are not only looking for the best technique. So many people have amazing technique, but not that many people can perform, especially younger students, can perform with that genuine nature. So if you can do that, you have a huge leg up on your friends, on the other competitors. Also, that's when you start loving what you do more and more every time the music plays. I love music. I love performing at all times. In college, we had to. It was like kind of part of our grades at OCU. And I am so fortunate that it was because it has taught me to perform with every song I hear. A song plays and you have to start feeling the style. You feel if I were on stage, what would my facial expressions be? But that's not what I think at all. I don't have to think about it anymore. I just feel the music and it comes out in my face as a genuine expression because it is genuine, because I've trained this to match with this. You know what? I always think it's so funny, like a pony step. A step ball change, pony, pony. I think it's so funny to see any dancer or theater person or anybody do a pony without a smile on your face. Try doing it right now. Pony, pony. I know you can't see it because my feet are down here. But you would never do a pony without a smile on. You would never do that to like a dark song. I mean, okay, sure, if you want to, but realistically, no. It is joyous. The movement brings joy to the face, to your whole body, with your arm motions. Just think of like if you're doing ponies to a song from Hairspray. You can't stop the beat. Da, 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 da. Like, it just emulates joy. So being able to be the person that other people on your team start to look to for facial expressions can be incredible. It sucks in the beginning. Yep. I know from experience, it sucks in the beginning because you're the only one in the room doing facial expressions, and then people start to tease you, or maybe you're worried they're teasing you because we are so self-conscious about it. But you know who looks like the fool? The one teasing you on the side. The one actually learning how to do this becomes the winner. You win. You win because you start to score higher. You win because you start to learn how to overcome your own confidence with this. And you win in that social setting because this is so important. You are going to get better at in dance. You're going to get better in your school projects, in everything. This will exude confidence. So if you're in a setting, not every studio is like that. Some people thrive and everybody's performing and that's awesome. But some places like mine, everybody's so serious all the time. Very serious, no smiling allowed. It can be hard to be the first one to start to do that. But then once you do it and you start to get good at it, that's when maybe the people who you felt were teasing you, whether they were or won't, usually it's our own insecurities, right? But when we felt them teasing us, then the tables turn once you learn how to do it. And then they go, oh crap, how do I do that? And then they look to you as the leader. It can be hard. It can be hard to be the first one to go after something, but you're here listening to this because you want to be that person. So let's do it. Start it today. Become the person to make a change here, not just for you, but for your entire studio. All of your routines are going to see better scoring throughout the process. And let's move on to the third point. What are the judges really looking for? They are looking for the overall picture. That is how scoring works. Sometimes I think we get in our head that let's say the judge starts at 100 and every time we make a mistake, they chip it away. Oh, I flexed my foot, chip away another point. Oh, I fell out of that back bend, chip away another point. Oh, I didn't land my aerial. That's always it. My aerial and my fouette turns, my floats, I messed those up. So that's why I got the score I got. No, that is not why you got the score you got. The score is an overall of everything you bring to the table. Otherwise, it would be different categories, okay? Like you would only be in a technique category. If you were competing and all we heard about was technique, then that's all that would matter. I know, like in gymnastics, they don't require facial expressions and storytelling. They have other things, but if they're not smiling, as far as I know, it doesn't affect their score. Look, it affects your score very greatly. It does a lot. Timing and facial expressions are huge in our dances. And I think sometimes we don't realize that. We get very small-minded because that's how we're working in the dance studio. We are working on this specific skill. As soon as I get it, I accomplish that. Yay, I'm super proud. That's wonderful. That is great. That is like those small accomplishments are everything. But when you go on stage, it is not, oh, she messed up that skill, check. Messed up that skill, check. Messed up that skill, check. It's not like that. From the picture you give us, from the full routine, we have to give a score. So that's why the judging can be crazy sometimes, because you are lacking in personality, but your technique was really, really high. Okay, so your technique score is here, but your personality score is here. And then the next dancer comes up and their personality is here, but your technique but their technique was here. So then you might score kind of similarly. I know it's very difficult. It's difficult to understand like that, but what I'm trying to say is it's not technique only. the worst thing I can hear. They come off stage and all they say is, ugh, they start crying, and I messed up my turns. Ugh. Look, I can tell you every judge says floats barely need to be in a routine. They are like they're a step that non-dancers love, but dance judges are not really that impressed by. I'm sorry, I hate to say that. But if you just think, like, if you are at a pageant or if you do turns like that at a basketball game, the whole audience is going crazy. Woo! But at competition, when you do turns, it's so often that we're falling out of them, that we're kind of a mess while we're doing it, that the wow factor gets taken down because we have to give it a numerical score. So if you're falling out of it, that's where like points have to be taken away because everybody does that. Yeah, it's just like it's a very tricky place because turns go on for so long. They can last a long time just to get a few out, so that what we do there often cannot help improve our score. It can if you're like, wow, amazing turner, great. But in most scenarios, it's like, oh, they're falling, we're falling, and now another 8 count has gone by, and we're still leaning to the left, and we're still not being able to save this. And I guess us as professionals can see so much from your turns, right? We can see your entire technique history from one set of turns. And so that's why sometimes I'm like, not even me, a lot of people will say, just take them out. Take them out. We don't need to see you falling around there. We don't need to see us working on that. Yeah, they're fun. I love all the seconds. I love turning, but it is so hard for them to cater towards your score in competition. If you're at a basketball game, though, or if you're in a pageant, you put those suckers in there. People love that. They're clapping and roaring. You could be hopping all over the stage. They wouldn't care because you're doing that really impressive thing. Same thing with wings and tap dancing. You could be doing in a tap dance, but if your arms are not doing this crazy swing thing and you're in front of maybe some people who don't know anything about tap, they would rather see your arms do crazy wing things so that the audience, they're trained to know, oh, this is a hard step. I'm going to clap for that. Okay. So in the end, we're talking about the third point is that it's the overall picture that really matters. So yes, you're given a score on technique, and then you're given a score on your musicality or your execution, and then you're given another score on your stage presence and your personality, and then usually another score on either choreography, appropriateness, or a few more elements there that can bring your score up or down. But I'd say those first 3 are really the most important: technique, musicality, and stage presence. So if your technique is here, but your stage presence is here, you will be beat out by someone else who has technique and stage presence. There's no doubt about it. And so if maybe you're listening right now and you are a huge technician, you're like, my technique is better than everybody out there. That is super valid. And so you're like, what else can I do? I work so hard. I go to class more than everybody else. Well, then it might be time to work on one of these other areas so that the judges can start to see you as, genuine and start to bring up those other scores, especially more in a very competitive setting where an amazing technician who should never receive lower than that top medal or scoring, diamond, double diamond, high diamond, whatever program you guys use, Ruby, whatever. If you're like a crazy technician who never should get that like second place rating, but you do, it can be hard when that happens, but it's probably more of like a learning lesson. Okay, sweetheart, you are incredible, but you're really, really missing this other element that is so important, not just for you as a dancer, but for you as a human being. So I hope that helps. It can be kind of hard to hear all that, but that is the reality to it. That's what's going on in our brains, and especially when we see those insane technicians, we are rooting for you. We're like, come on, smile, please, just give me a smile, because I have to see it in order to give you more points. I hope you learned something today. Again, my name is Brittany, and this episode was the competitive edge, what the judges are really looking for. Please, if you learned something or if you've received other feedback, share it in the comments below. I want to hear about it. I want to hear if you have questions, and let's keep getting the ball rolling on this more and more so we can keep learning what those judges want to see and hear. Catch you in the next video and keep on dancing.